Ha Bonk, based on the joke book of the same title by Janet and Alan Alberg. Love, the big bad joke for adults. Electric custard, gooseberry in a lift. Why couldn't he have come up with something better? Knock, knock, I got tired of asking. Irish stew in the name of the law. And why did the burglar saw the legs off his bed? So we could hear the springs creak more clearly? I wanted to lie low too, very low, lying with you, lying all the time if I could. Was it that I had stolen something? And now it goes ha ha bonk, all down the passage, a man laughing his head off. If I see it rolling, I shall pick it up, carry its belly laugh with me on a silver plate. Buying fish. I am one of you, though you do not know it. We are all hesitant. We are all gentle and elderly. Together we point and stutter. Our string bags wait for wet parcels, gape to receive the same slippery gift. Tonight we shall all search our mouths for bones, as the fragile skeletons are picked clean, discarded, wrapped in plastic to cheat the rough tongues of cats. I am one of you. Watch me buy a thin fillet of place for my single serving, drop keys, fumble the change. I can beg as well as you for a few sprigs of sour parsley. I can look a whole slab of rainbow trout straight in the eye. The Clever Daughter, after a misericord in Worcester Cathedral. For 600 years I have travelled to meet my father. Neither walking nor riding, I have carried your heartbeat to him carefully, to the sound of singing, my right hand growing to horn. Your head droops in a stain of windows as we come closer. The man who made us, hare and girl, will barely recognise the lines his blade left. 6 centuries have fused us to a single figure. Clothed and unclothed, we shall reach him, netted at his cold feet. But as he unwraps us, my cloak thread snagging and breaking, I shall release you, your pent flutter of madness. And we shall see you run from his hands and vanish, your new zigzag opening the cornfield like the path of lovers, the endless journey shaken from your long ears, my gift to him, given and yet not given. Persephone. Wanting someone who looked natural, they cast you as Persephone, not thinking how at regular intervals you were taken to visit your own mother under a flaking sky of cream paint, down the echoing corridor to the long stay ward, where trees froze in the black glass of winter. How you were no stranger to the clockwork rhythms of figures moaning and swaying, the mechanical hands that moved across faces or scattered things in odd corners, the hungry hands that flapped after with their wings of ragged knitting. Each time you would leave her and return to birdsong, the urgent green through frost, the melting grass, the world you would give her if she would only recognise you through the heavy doors your father closed between you. Each week you rehearsed your flower steps with a basket of paper petals as your teachers smiled down on you, exclaiming at your sweet face, at the way you seemed never to see him coming, as if each last dance were the first dance, and every mother won over by so little. My father's handkerchiefs. In a controlled explosion of dry grief, fragile as skeletons, trembling in my hand like my daughter's origami monsters, their worn muslin stiff with mucus, they let me prize them open. With a sound like tearing, the crumbs of snot flick out at me, my father's latest creations dead. Each week I wash them, press warmth into the yielding creases and bring them back. So many neat flat squares for him to snort his thick grief into. Each week I find them again, wreckage of crippled beasts and flowers, to flutter or creep or scuttle into my machine as I try to name them. Butterfly, tortoise, crane, crab, lily, cygnet, crane, 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 crane. Night toad. You can hardly see him, his outline, his cold skin almost a dead leaf, blotched brown, dull green, khaki. He sits so quietly, pumping his quick breath just at the edge of water, between ruts in the path. And suddenly he is the centre of a cone of light falling from the night sky, ruts running with liquid fire, cobwebs imprinted on black, each grass blade clear and separate, until the hiss of human life removes itself, the air no longer creaks, the shaking stops, and he can crawl back to where he came from. But what was this, if it was not death? Pistachios. A darkening January afternoon, I stand at the kitchen window, absently eating pistachios left over from Christmas. Outside, a blur of hydrangea as I slide the edge of my nail between the curved wings of a shell. They say sex is a kind of dying. At a certain time of life, you never know exactly when or where or how fast sex leaves. It's like a tide slowly leaving a beach, imperceptibly exposing rocks like bony fingers, hidden tongues of sand, and sometimes the rank on improbable rank of muscles close as bristles, millions of them, blue-black, crowding the surface like the teeth of combs or petrified fur that teases the soles of your bare feet raw, a whole glittering expanse of blue-black points, and hidden inside that throb of flesh. As the tide recedes, a million brittle mouths lean shut. A skeleton hydrangea bowls across the dusk, shivers. I crack another shell open, feeling saliva spurt at the green thought of pistachios, salt on my lips, shells light as paper. Cycling to see the fish ladder. Do they riffle their translucent fins between the rungs to inch up? Or do they effortlessly rise as if through someone's sleep to do what people do with ladders? Search and replace a frost-cracked tile or shake a tree into a waiting skirt. Each trunk I pedal past swells and shrills with cicadas before it fades. But when, blinded by sweat, I finally arrive, the ladder's shut by a red alert. Merci de votre compréhension. I straddle my bike and read what power means to fish and spawning grounds. I think I understand. A glitch and the dream floats belly up, the waters of the Garonne log-jammed and stinking. There's only the sky's unbroken blue, the tree's small pool of shadow, a woman's leaning bike. Nothing you can pull out in a shining shaft, no wooden feet to dent the mud, no uprights you can steady against death.